Fiji and the United States are locked in a legal battle over the superyacht said to allegedly belong to a sanctioned Russian oligarch. However, there are still questions about who owns Amadea. What's happened to the Amadea? Why has it happened? And what's the ultimate fate of this superyacht? Join us today as we're going on a journey to discover what Fiji judges have decided for the Amadea case. The 106-meter-long Amadea luxury superyacht, believed to be owned by Russian oligarch Suleiman Kerimov, has been detained by Fijian authorities and is now being held by the United States. We'll dig deeper into it later in the video. However, first, let's take a look at the brief of this case. The marine traffic website reveals that the Amadea left Mexico 18 days prior before reaching Fiji. Amadea entered Fiji waters on April 13th, but didn't have customs clearance. Almost immediately, the United States attempted to seize the yacht and sent a formal request for legal assistance to Fiji to prevent the yacht from leaving the Pacific waters. The ship has since been on trial since arriving in Fiji in mid-April, when prosecutors tried to register a U.S. seizure warrant and the yacht owner tried to prevent the enforcement action. But on the Thursday afternoon of May 5th in 2022, Fijian authorities worked with members of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, and the U.S. Marshals Service, now in Fiji, to execute a seizure order and freeze Amadea. The U.S. Department of Justice said in a statement, Fijian law enforcement, with the support and assistance of the FBI, acted pursuant to a mutual legal assistance request from the U.S. Department of Justice. The request included a confiscation order which found that the Amadea is subject to forfeiture based on probable cause of violations of U.S. law, including money laundering and conspiracy. From there, the Fijian police turned Amadea over to the FBI, U.S. Marshals, and U.S. Service Coast Guard. It's not known when Amadea will leave Fiji, but a Department of Justice spokesperson told ABC, the vessel will be brought to the U.S. and berthed at port appropriate for the size of the vessel. The bizarre case of the Amadea has captivated the Pacific nation of Fiji, as the impact of Russia's war against Ukraine reaches private ports around the world and in the city of Lautoka on the country's main island. There, the United States collected another piece of Russian treasure as part of the Operation Klepto-Capture, a task force charged with finding and seizing the wealth of sanctioned oligarchs with ties to Moscow. U.S. Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco said in a statement, "This yacht seizure should tell every corrupt Russian oligarch that they cannot hide, not even in the remotest part of the world. We will use every means of enforcing the sanctions imposed in response to Russia's unprovoked and unjustified war in Ukraine." The case of Amadea's ownership. Why is yacht ownership so murky? Many luxury yachts are linked to Russian oligarchs, but ownership is often kept secret and is often registered by several offshore companies or trust funds. An expert interviewed by ABC used the onion analogy. The more layers an onion has, the longer it'll take to peel. In the case of the Amadea, the ship is flagged in the Cayman Islands in the Caribbean, and its registered owner since 2021 is a company called 1MILLION Investments, sometimes spelled Millamarine, according to the online site Equasis. However, that fact alone doesn't tell us much about who the real owner is. Defense lawyers say that Millamarine is the legal owner of the vessel and that the company is linked to the actual owner or beneficial owner, Mr. Kudainatov. Kerimov was sanctioned in 2018 by the United States, which said that he was accused of money laundering in France and failing to pay 400 million euros or 432 million USD in villa taxes. Kerimov is worth about $14.3 billion, according to estimates by the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. He owns Nafta Moscow, a financial and industrial group in Russia, and his family owns a majority stake in Polyus Gold, which claims to be Russia's largest gold producer. However, the defense has denied ownership, claiming that the yacht actually belonged to Eduard Kudainatov, the former chairman and CEO of Rosneft, a state-controlled Russian oil and gas company. It's important to note that Kudainatov does not appear to be facing any sanctions. Therefore, that claim may just be a tactic to get Amadea out of the sanctions. Well, U.S. authorities have claimed that, behind all the various fronts, the real owner is Mr. Kerimov. What are your thoughts on it? Let us know in the comment section down below. Hamish Fletcher, a partner at the New Zealand law firm Ocean Law, said that superyachts often had multiple registrations because it was just another layer of searching that someone would have to do. If someone is interested to try to find out who owns a vessel, they'll have to search that register. And then you have it in another country. And then you'll probably not find out who the real beneficial owner is, because you'll just see what's on the register, which isn't necessarily the true owner. Professor Donald Rothwell, an international and maritime law expert at the Australian National University, agreed that ship ownership was often a complex web. He said, "The question as to the ownership of the yacht sees us delving into incredibly murky and very difficult areas, where a vessel, for example, is not owned outright by an individual, but might be owned by a corporation or multiple different interests." The US designated Karimov as part of a group of Russian oligarchs who profit from the Russian government through corruption and its malign activity around the globe. And all this is said by the Department of Justice in a statement. According to court documents, Karimov owned the Amadea after his designation. Additionally, Karimov and those acting on his behalf and for his behalf caused US dollar transactions to be routed through US financial institutions for the support and maintenance of the Amadea. So, can the US take it into custody? The High Court issued an order on the yacht, effectively barring it from leaving Fiji until the bigger question can be answered: can the United States hold it? US law enforcement officials are believed to have traveled to Fiji via Cairns, where flight scouts spotted an unmarked US Air Force plane arriving at the international terminal late at night. The FBI and US activated the Marshal's office to attack after Amadea's trials are over. Confiscation of foreign assets involves the work of several government agencies and the cooperation of local agencies, and in the case of Amadea, a law called the Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Act of 1997. Under the law, Fijian prosecutors can apply to the High Court for a US order to be registered on the spot because the property is involved in money laundering, according to court documents. This means that Fiji's judicial authorities have filed an order issued by a United States court to register with the local court. On Tuesday, May 3, 2022, Fiji's High Court Justice Dipthi Amaratunga granted the request. Although the order was issued 12,000 kilometers away, it became applicable to Fiji and local authorities along with the FBI. On Tuesday, defense attorney Faisal Hanif signaled that his client would appeal the decision to accept the US order and seek a postponement of the execution, but Judge Amaratunga rejected his request. This leaves US authorities free to sail the yacht away, which is expected in the coming days. On the Amadea, a British captain and more than 20 crew members are still on board. US and Fijian authorities are expected to provide updates on their welfare. So, what now for the superyacht? Can the US sell it? The US Marshals Service will move the ship to the United States with a private contractor. A Department of Justice spokesperson said, "Once the USMS takes physical control of the vessel, we work through our national vessel contract to hire a captain and crew to inspect the ship for seaworthiness, transfer it to an appropriate berthing location, and provide the necessary maintenance to maintain the condition of the vessel during the pendency of the forfeiture action." The Amadea is a very valuable confiscation and comes just as the United States Congress is considering what to do with all of Russia's expensive toys. One of the proposals was to make it easier for the government to sell them and then use the funds raised for Ukraine's defense efforts. Some analysts say that the difficulties and sanctions imposed are meant to be leveraged to encourage people to improve their behavior, and that selling their assets will change that dynamic. In an international legal maneuver similar to that in Fiji, the United States, with the help of Spanish authorities, managed to capture another Russian superyacht last month. Under current law, any sale of a yacht will follow a forfeiture proceedings, as the United States must now prove that the asset was used to commit a crime before it can be repossessed. This has historically led to lengthy court cases and, in some cases, property restitution. Experts warn that the current global effort to freeze and confiscate elite Russian assets is unprecedented, and governments can expect the legal battles around them to be just as significant. Okay, with all this, I hope to have you well informed. If you have anything else to add to this discussion, please write it in the comment section down below. Alright, we'll see you with new updates next time. Thank you for watching, and if you found this video informative, please like and subscribe. Bye!